we're going to see actual 49ers. So there's going to be some starters out there. Apparently Brock Purdy is one of them. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see if Purdy completes his first pass to Dejon Stribling.
Yeah, and beyond that, I think you're right. Once it's a one series, or if it's 3 and out, he'll get 2 series. If the Niners go on a, 7 or 8 play drive that ends however it ends, that probably will do it for Brock Purdy. If it's a 3 and out, I think he'll get another chance to go 3 and out or do whatever they'll do on the second series. I don't think that he even gets more than 10 plays, unless the first drive is like a 12-play drive. Beyond that, it's going to be a brief little in and out, cup of coffee, and then you move on.
If they go 3 and out, then we've got to show up tomorrow with a high level of concern.
No doubt.
No 3 and outs. No 3 and outs in the preseason.
I mean,
not for starters.
Right. I mean, your starters against their starters in August, I think we can go ahead and chalk that up to preseason rust and cobwebs. I don't know.
Game 1 was for Stribling. Game 2 is for Kaelon Black. That's my call tonight. My call is that tomorrow this fan base, and fingers crossed, is very, very excited, intrigued, and thinking about maybe a new way to go about the backfield with the San Francisco 49ers. And I say that with the absolute most respect and admiration possible for Christian McCaffrey, and I'm not dumb. Christian, I want 20 touches a week, not 25, but 20 touches a week. Do your thing. Be your Hall of Fame self. Be the bell cow for the San Francisco 49ers. But at the same time, I want these two things to be true this year. Fewer touches. Like, I do not want to see him get 400 touches this year. I think that would be inappropriate, number one. And number two, I would love to go back to the days. The last time this was true was when Jordan Mason was here, where Christian McCaffrey could miss a football game and you would still feel like you can do some damn things coming out of the backfield. That's how I want to feel about this year's San Francisco 49ers, and Black is going to be the first guy to have a shot at doing that.
It could be James when he gets back from the broken rib, and so it all comes down to the reality, which is if McCaffrey's healthy, he really, really wants to be out there. And when he's out there, and I was doing some of the numbers from just last year, on all the snaps that he took on the field, he was either targeted or ran the ball or caught the ball in nearly half of those plays. Oh. It was about 47% of the plays. So when McCaffrey was out there last year, they either threw it to him or they handed him the ball, and the other half of the time they didn't. And so the only way to really kind of save him is by not playing him for a series, or maybe you take him out for first and second down and then you bring him in on third down. Whatever it is, you have to find a way to get him off the field. If not, Kyle Shanahan's going to try to get him the ball.
Well, and then here's the other thing that it would achieve, right? If Kaelon Black ends up being really good, it would also represent the San Francisco 49ers finally drafting a running back in the third round and having it work. And I would love for that it's almost like the Steph Curry's never won finals MVP thing. Right? He's a 3-time champ. He's an MVP, but he had never won finals MVP. Kind of feel that way about the Niners and the third round of the NFL draft with running backs. Like, how many times is this going to go sideways? Ty Davis-Price, Joe Williams, we can keep going. How many times is this going to go wrong before it goes right? I really hope this is the one, and I think it might be. And so hopefully tonight is the first night to kind of grab everybody's attention with that.
It could be, and it's exciting to think about because he's a guy who had a really good year last year in college, and you went out there and you did the thing, which is you took a running back in the third round, and everybody's holding their head and, please, don't do that. And then they did the thing, and you've heard different people, like Greg Cosell has come on our show and said he likes him, and he actually is a better pass catcher than what he showed last year, where they didn't really use him in that role. And so he could be, if healthy, and if he's able to, be good at picking up the blitz, because we know that Shanahan demands that you are a blocker first, no matter who you are outside the quarterback. You've got to be out there and do your dirty work more than you go out there and just catch the ball.
Greg Cosell yesterday with us on Kaelon Black.
I really liked, watching him. I thought he was tough, physical, a grinder, powerful, kind of a no-holds-barred runner. I mean, he was the kind of back, he would run over people. I forget, he ran over someone who was a big-time player. He's just a very, very physical guy, and I really liked him a lot watching his tape, and I think he fits the 49er run game. He's a grinder. He sustains an offense. The pass catching stuff, just because he wasn't thrown to in college doesn't mean he can't be a receiver. We just didn't have exposure to that on his tape. I'm sure when they studied him and they worked him out, they probably threw him the ball quite a bit. And first of all, he's not going to be their third down back anyway. The more important thing for him, I think, is blitz pickup. He's not going to be their receiving back. So blitz pickup to me would be the more important thing.
It is both my opinion and also my hope, let's be honest with you, that what we saw last year in the 49er run game, the reason that in the Kyle Shanahan 49er era, this was the worst yards per carry group, even though you had a healthy Christian McCaffrey the whole time, the reason for that, in my opinion, is sort of an extension of what you just said. I don't think the Niner offense was offering enough on the field to scare the defense. So everybody knew that there was a 50-50 shot when Christian was on the field that he was going to get the ball. Therefore, everybody was completely and totally focused on Christian. Therefore, everybody was able to stack the box and stop Christian a little bit earlier than maybe they used to. What the 49ers have built this year, I think, if blessed with health, is they have built, again, a group that can scare the defense. And if you do want to completely focus on Christian McCaffrey, they're going to make you pay. That's why the Niners were oddly still number 2 in DVOA last year. They were still really good on third down. They were still a really good offense because Brock Purdy's a good quarterback and they've got a good system. And so they were able to still kind of move the chains from 3rd and 5 and all of these things. But it wasn't downfield. It wasn't like,
right.
It's like, okay, you can move the chains, but can you get all the way down the field? Can you make a defense pay for cheating up on the line of scrimmage? The answer was no. The Seahawks knew that no one was going over their head. This year, that's not the case. You got a Swiss Army knife in Deebo. You got a real boundary X number 1 receiver in Mike Evans. You've got a speedy kid, Dejon Stribling, who also has size. Hopefully George Kittle will be back, and Kaelon Black, others who can mix in and do some things. That is my opinion, but it is also, I admit, my hope. My hope that's what makes it different this year.
I think that the hope is one that's well-founded because of the different options you have. And you look at last year where you open up and you didn't have Demarcus Robinson for 3, and then George Kittle got hurt fairly early, and you didn't really have that field stretcher, and Ricky Pearsall played 9 of the 17 regular season games, and so you were left with Jawan Jennings, who's not a stretcher, Kendrick Bourne, who had a couple of monster games, but he's not somebody who's going to get over the top on you. And so if you are one of the defenses, and I'm thinking about the Rams in Seattle, you go ahead and creep on down with those safeties because you're not scared of play action and of somebody getting behind you and having the big explosive play. And just looking at Christian McCaffrey's success rate last year when running the ball, and they measure this based on if it's first down, do you get 40% of the needed yards? If it's second down, do you get 60%? And if it's third down or fourth down, do you get the first down? He was less than 50% on his success rate, meaning first and 10, you get 2 yards or 3 yards. That's a failure. That's not a success. And it feels like there was a lot of that last year where he'd get 0 or he'd get 1, and eventually you'd chip away and get the first down, but it wasn't through McCaffrey and explosive runs.
No doubt. I hated 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, even 1st and 10. Yes, it felt like it was 2nd and 9 all the time. Somehow they were still able to move the ball up and down the field, be a pretty good offense, score enough points, go 12-5, all the things that we know. But yeah, that's got to definitely be better this year. Let me run a little test with you. Okay? So preseason game tonight, 7 o'clock, Niners and Chargers. Many of the starters are playing. What's the first thought that goes through your mind when I say that? Many of the starters are going to play tonight.
Just let's be careful out there. Got to keep it safe. And I know that it's football and you can't protect anybody, but yeah, if you want to play your starters and you're not going to play all 22, you probably play I don't know, 12 or 13 of your starters, but go ahead and get in and get out and be healthy.
So you passed the test.
Okay. Whew.
/ proved my point. There's nothing wrong with your answer, but I wish so badly for it to go away. So badly. I want that. I want that for the 49er fan base, to go back to a day when we used to just be excited to see the game. Excited to see the actual players who are going to be on the 49ers play football, as opposed to going into a game where the first emotion that we have is worry. How do we do that? How can we collectively do this? How can we get 49er fans to replace worry with excitement? This is what I want. I am taking this on as a project as we approach this season. How do we replace the emotion of worry with excitement? How do we do it?
You get to the regular season, and then some fans will still be worried, but
for sure they will.
I get into real regular season football, and you put the worry aside because it's football. But right now, this is not a meaningful game. It's meaningless other than you break a sweat and develop that callus. So for me personally, when you get to regular season football, I don't worry any longer about injury. It happens.
Maybe you don't.
Right.
I know that you know that many do. This has become a characteristic of the fan base. Worry.